There it is, 2000. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon.
Malkin dusts it off. Right in front. Another chance back here. Score! It's Brian Rust with the goal. Rarefied air to Hall of Fame career. 1,200 points for Evgeny Malkin.
Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation. Touchdown. George Pickens.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio. We're having a little fun here tonight, right in the municipal building here, 5100 West Library Avenue. You all know where it's at. Police station's next door. They're lurking around looking for, no, they're not looking for Smoking Jim today. So we're good. Thanks for watching us. We appreciate you on Comcast 21. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford. Thanks for your on Facebook. How about this? We got a brand new high. I don't know with this boxing, but we've been getting new fans like crazy. On Facebook, we have 7,135 people watching. Wow. So thank all of you. And then on YouTube, you know, I want you to subscribe there. We've gained only about 30. So we're at 200 subscribers on Pittsburgh Sportsline on YouTube. You know, I'm just asking nicely, please switch to YouTube right now. You can watch the same thing, then come back and interact with the Talking Machine and others here. I'll pause so you can do that. All right, that's it. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, and we got to explain. I know I've done a 13-year award-winning show, 7 o'clock to 8. We had a little faux pas during COVID where they wanted us to go on Thursday night. We did that for a brief stay. And now Nick's not with us. He's doing volleyball and high school sports with the high school. So the students are filming the shows. And Smoking Jim, that's not volleyball. You got to hold the hands and go like that. So you missed that. And their baseball bat holding's terrible. So that's why we're at 5:55 tonight, and we'll end at 6:55. And I forgot to hit the timer, so I'm not sure what time we got, but we'll get it moving right now and we'll get that straightened out. But that's easy to work on. We'll get it. Chip Hayner's here. I had to call him on an emergency. He works out in New Stanton. He didn't shower, so we have to get personal here. But he came right in to do the show, so thank you, Chip, for being here.
Welcome.
Mike Rohde, it's his turn to come in and alternate with Chip. So he's going for like 3 weeks in a row now. He's got a new record for Ragin' Rohde. And we got our promos to do. Chance, after the promos, we got to do this promos that I have, 2 promos. Nick's been so busy with high school and working here in social media. He does all the Bethel Park social media. So he's one busy guy, and I forget what he's called on the fan, but some guy named Callis is on the fan doing stuff. So we'll get that. Shout out to Teresa Mariano. Johnny Mariano, hope you feel better, Johnny. I told you weren't 100% after that surgery, even though you didn't consider it surgery. It was a procedure. So I stand corrected on whatever you want to believe. Hope you get better. Prayers for you. Ann Harder's watching. And we're going to go to the promos in 10 seconds.
Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, presents Coliseum Combat Zone Pro and Amateur Fights at the All-American Fieldhouse in Monroeville on Saturday, June 29th. Contact Al Levine if you'd like to participate in these fights or if you'd like to receive spectator tickets. A donation to the National Kidney Foundation will be made at all Coliseum Combat Zone events.
Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization.
The Pittsburgh Police present Biscuits Bingo on Saturday, April 6th at Salvador's Event Center. Doors open at 10 a.m. The $60 ticket includes a pasta buffet that opens at 11:30, then 16 regular games and 4 special bingo games, which all begin at 12:30. Bring a pet food item to donate and qualify to play a special bingo game. Use the link below to purchase tickets. Proceeds benefit all these pet-focused organizations.
The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. Well, we're back, and I still got a couple promos. I got to test my man Chance. He's been here over a month, and he told me what to do. Set that up. How's that, Chance? All right, let's cover this. It's live TV. We're under a lot of stress here right now. I got to drink some iced tea. It's not green. We'll get to that in a minute. All right, can somebody confirm that I can talk now? Thank you. Just, you got to say it obvious so we can get it done.
There you go.
This is Period Poverty is Real. Christine McIntosh, the head librarian, wanted to know if we can sponsor this on my show, and I said I'd be honored to do so. Shout out to my mom, may she rest in peace, my 3 sisters, my daughter, and other people I know. Period equity should be real too. Menstruating is a basic fact of human existence. Menstrual hygiene products are necessities, not luxuries, and should be treated as such. Unfortunately, food stamps and subsidies under WIC, that's Women, Infants, and Children program, that help with groceries, do not cover menstrual products. During the month of March, Women's History Month, the library is collecting feminine hygiene products to be donated to SHIM. That's a local nonprofit right across the street from Park House Historical Society and Reginald's Coffee. I was at Reginald's today. Great tea and coffee. There is a collection box near the front desk of the library. Help us make a dent in the period poverty issue. And I'm serious about doing this, and please help out because women are in need of this. So please donate, and they accept all your donations. All right, another one for you, Chance. Designer bag bingo. All right, we got it. Let's see how that looks on the screen. All right, we got Johnny Mariano's watching. Jamie Buster from Indiana. Ralph Williams, hello guys.
That's my man.
Hi, Ralph. I won't say what he did, but we repeated enough. Thanks for tuning in. Designer bag bingo, April 14th. Doors open at 1:30 p.m. BP Community Center, 5151 Park Avenue, Bethel Park, 15102. $25 per person includes 10-game bingo packet, 3 cards per game, 1 door prize, light snacks, BYOB, bring your large giant, what is it, ginger ale bottle, Smoking Jim forgot, one like that, and even like these. I don't know if we can show that in there. Bring a drink, light snacks, additional bingo cards, 50/50 and basket raffle available for purchase. By the way, the Talking Machine is known for selling the raffle tickets, 50/50s, and we have a great crowd. It's usually a packed house there, and they usually make some good money on that 50/50. I forget whether we hit 1,000 or not the last time. So
What's the name of the event?
Designer bag
Maybe Nick can get another one.
bingo. Well, no, that's featuring designs of Coach, Michael Kors. His look like yours out of the trunk. Vera Bradley, Kate Spade, and more. I don't know all the names, but check it out. Tickets are available at Bethel Park Public Library, EV True Value Hardware, and online. Chance, here's where we test you. See if you can get that QR code like you did last week. I trust you on this now. He's trying to get Rookie of the Year for 2024. Tell me it's on there, Marco. Whoa. All right, I'm holding it steady. I'm holding it steady. Get your phone, take a picture, and you can go there, all right? That's why we're doing it. Another first on Pittsburgh Sportsline. All right. Okay, I guess we're back and we're normal, so we start out every show. If you're just watching it the first time, what's on your mind? Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at
you
ya.
got to
Whoa.
see Levine. Hey, I got a question for Michael. Have you anybody heard from Dante Johnson since we traded him to Carolina, or is he still on the run with Cam Sutton? But hey, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. In the last 10 games, the Penguins are 2-8. So I'm hoping they do what you said. Get the
Go into the
pick.
tank.
And I tell
They're
you,
tanking.
I tell you what, talking to Chip, I might have done wrong. Al Levine, the Talking Machine. I put 2 bets in this week. The Penguins to lose 100 games, and the Penguins not to win more than 75
Hold it,
games.
Smoking Jim. We got to disclaim this. You're not a...
I need a winner.
Wait, folks, I'm not saying Smoking Jim's not smart because he graduated Gateway. But do you know how many games they play in hockey a year?
Huh? No, did I say the Penguins?
I think you
No,
meant
I
the
meant the Pirates.
I
meant
know.
the Pirates. I'm
Why do you
sorry.
think I disclaimed
thanks.
it?
I tell you with the P words. But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, listen, I guess if you're from Japan, you can bet on anything you want to, and it's okay with baseball. I guess if you're a good old boy, a hard-working white man that loves your family, that loves the flag, that loves apple pie, they ban you for life
Hold
for
it.
doing the same
And
thing.
underage girls, you forgot.
Hold it. Disclaimer on Pete Rose. He was known as Charlie Hustle, and he was hustling all the women and everything else out there. People hid that.
Allegedly.
No, factually.
No, factually.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
Irrefutable proof. Why do you think he agreed to a lifetime
He ain't
ban?
never had no $4 million bet. The only guy in Ohio, only bookie in Ohio that could have took that bet back in the day was Don King.
Because he never won enough to have $4 million.
And that's what's on my mind.
And the disclaimer is that everything Smokin' Jim says about it does not represent anybody on Pittsburgh Sportsline, BPTV, or the community of Bethel Park. And it's humorous because he keeps doing it. All right, Chip Hayner, thanks for making the long trip on time here. We appreciate it.
Not a problem.
What's on your mind?
What's on
I know
my
you
mind?
got a lot, so
Got a lot.
You got some time, and we'll
And I'm
figure
going to
out.
break it up, because my trivia segment I'm going to use to talk Pittsburgh Pirates baseball.
Okay,
But
here's
what
a
I want to
teaser
talk
for
about
you. Yeah, go
is
ahead.
the No Fun League. Okay?
NFL.
There you go. So we got a couple of rule changes made in the NFL. We're going to turn the NFL into the XFL. No, nobody watched the XFL, so what are they trying to do? Drop television ratings? The new kickoff rule is ridiculous. What's wrong with just having your kicker kick the ball out of the end zone like they've been doing, and there are no returns?
I can't wait till you explain the next one. I got a question.
Well, and then the next rule is going to be the precursor to what is going to be soon to be known as the NFFL, which is going to be the National Flag Football League, because now they are making it more difficult for defenders to tackle runners, because they're worried about the defenders using the hip block tackle.
Hold
But
it,
how is-
time out. I've watched football my whole life, and everybody here. I've never heard hip drop tackle until this week.
Well, here's what the thing is. When you've got a defensive back that's 5'9", maybe 185 to 200 pounds, and he's trying to bring down a 6'8" tight end who's 245 pounds, what real option does he have? So what are we going to do is we're going to force guys to have to go low and take people's knees out. Okay, where there's nothing wrong with that form of tackling, and since you don't want to make it, since you want to make it too hard for defenders to tackle, well, why have them tackle anybody? Why not just have every single offensive play turn into a score, and whoever gets the ball last wins? It's ridiculous that they're taking the tackle out of the game of tackle football.
Chip, Drew and I watched. Shout out to Drew watching us. We heard that, and he goes, what is it? Because he didn't watch when they first announced it, and I told him it was in the morning, and we were talking about it. He goes, how about they just don't tackle? So here's my thing. I go, how about this? Do what they do with pass interference, hit the guy and make him call it on every
Well,
play.
see, what they're doing is you
just
can't hit.
tackle. No, just tackle
You
him,
can't hit
break
below.
the rule.
Now they're making it so you can't hit below the waist, and you can't hit above the shoulders. So like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, you can't always get a clean hit at somebody's body cavity here. I mean, so if they're going to not allow the defenders to tackle, then the running backs and the wide receivers shouldn't be allowed to try to break the tackle. So at first contact, they should have to lay down and then blow the whistle dead. And how much fun would that be watching?
Well,
Next thing that's going to happen is they're going to put belts on them. There's going to be flags on their belt, and we're going to be watching
Well, they'll be in
football and
pads.
shorts.
It'll be flag football and
with
pads
playing
is
flag
what I'm
football.
saying.
I think it's ridiculous that the rule change was made.
Well, here, like you guys see the pass interference, they do more pass interference that isn't called by not looking back when the ball's thrown, and they don't call that. So what are they doing? They're making it worse for the referees because they don't know what to even call now on pass interference. How are you going to call these on a tackle? Everyone's a penalty.
I know this young man right here to my left, because he's younger than I am. I know this man right here. is
Disclaimer.
we have always watched
no, he's
football
not. He's not.
because defense is an integral part of football.
Yeah.
They're taking the teeth out of the defense, and they're making this an offensive game. I'm sorry, football is not a contact sport, never has been. Football is a collision sport. And until you stop making athletes bigger, faster, and stronger, smashing into each other at top speed, you're never going to keep the injuries out of the game. It's a part of the game. If you're going to play football, you're probably not going to be able to walk by the time you're 50. That's the price you
Or
pay
even live
for the
past
millions
50.
of dollars
You may
that
not
you're
live
making in
past
your
50,
20s.
Yeah. But you took care of your family for generations, unless you're like 80% of the players that went bankrupt.
Unless you're
That's another
going
point.
running bets with Macaroni Tony.
Well,
No matter what they do, I know a pitcher that'll still bet on football.
Mr. Negative struck again. Thanks to Ty Polk watching. I'd love to hear what Ty says. Diane Mariana Rohde's watching. She got to watch her son and husband. Dan Bogan's watching. Shout out to Dan, the Dreadlock DJ. We appreciate it. I was watching a lot of this because to me, it's terrible what happened. And they said, I think Ryan Clark had said, injuries were down 40% last year, so why are they doing it? And they had Shannon Sharp on there and another guy,
Trust
Hawk.
a black man with numbers.
Yeah, well, Smoking Jim's so negative. Disclaimer on that. Smoking Jim's a known black man, and he's not racist. So I can't reconcile that he does not represent us again, or our studio, or Bethel Park. Sorry about that. But injuries were down. So here's a stat that they threw out to Shannon Sharp. 80% of the injuries were the hip drop tackles, where I never heard of that. So what are the executives making up?
Here's a question I want to have answered.
How's that, Cameron?
These guys get paid how many millions of dollars to play a game?
Too much.
Okay. How many players in the NFL actually played in 16 games last year?
Yeah.
You know, but yet they get a full paycheck if they've got. Oh,
Yeah, but it's 17 games. Remember, they got.
well, yeah, okay. So, but how many players played the full season? Very, very, very few. And you're telling me injuries are down. So what are you doing? Just giving them the week off? Well, you're paying them $1 or $2 or $3 million
the
a game.
CBA, we discussed this, that they took the first offer because they wanted to smoke dope. So you don't have full pad practices for years now doing that, and you don't have tackling drills. They already watered it down because they got sued with CTEs.
See, they took tackling out of practice. Now they're taking tackling out of the game.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, next thing is flag football.
Well, what did we start doing for the Pro Bowl, which I haven't seen in years? Flag football.
Well,
It's a test.
We could just use a test of skills each week and have like a tug of war instead of having two teams play.
As long as they have water with alligators.
You know,
Chip, as long as they have water with alligators.
and they can play
in it,
dodgeball.
I'd go for that. Water and alligators.
That's cool.
I'll put it in there with that. All right, Nick Rohde. Nick and Peggy Rohde just landed in Philly from San Diego, watching on YouTube. You're back in Philly?
Back at they
Tell
drove
me that,
from Rochester to Philly to fly to San Diego. They fly to San Diego because they don't have to take multiple connections from Rochester,
straight
so
shot.
they drove down to my niece's house, then took
So
off
it's a
from
family.
Philadelphia.
It's a family thing.
Yeah, week told you the whole.
Yeah,
Philly
now it's coming
and
true a week
Rochester,
later.
and
I
keep
salute
track
you
of
guys for the spring travels. All right, what's on your mind, Mike Rohde?
Well, what's on my mind is I'm surprised we don't talk much about March Madness on this show. Thank you.
Hold it. You just usurped what I wanted to talk about.
Well,
But we're good.
I'm sure I'm not going to talk about the same thing you're going to talk about.
I know you're not.
I've never been a huge fan of the sport of basketball, right? You've always had to, like, in my opinion, you watch the last 2 minutes is all you really need to do, and most of them end up as free throw shooting contests.
And timeouts too.
Right, and you get 7 million timeouts, right? So they save them all for the last 40 seconds of the game. It's just boring. You know, I followed it when Pitt was good, and I
the
stopped.
Jamie Dixon era?
Jamie Dixon,
Okay.
Ben Howland, Jamie
How'd they
Dixon.
get rid of them?
And but see, here's the problem with this is what's happened to college basketball. Basically, every year, it's like watching the XFL or the World Football League. It's the different roster every year on every team. because you've got the one and dones, the best of the best. They're there for 1 year, they're gone, right? The second tier are now the transfer portal people looking for the best NIL deals.
Yeah.
Right? So they're going where they want to go. And then the other tiers are like the guys who are 6'10", who can't play basketball, but they're given a scholarship because they're 6'10".
Yeah.
Or the guys from Eastern Europe who just want a mechanical engineering degree and go
Hold it.
home.
You're so deep. You're so deep on this. I would have never brought this up.
You know, I'm just.
But I respect it.
But
Carry on.
But that's what's
Yeah.
happened. It's devolved into a game. No, and
Hold it. Is it worth watching in your mind?
Only if I had gone to a school, I'd probably pay attention to it, because you can't.
No, I just
you
wanted
can't
that
get into the
clarified,
team. Every team pretty much completely changes over every year now in college basketball. There's no more.
The same thing's happening with college football.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Whoa.
It's a lot more noticeable, and I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you did, because in college basketball, you've only got 7, 8 guys who make a difference during the year. You know, not the Eastern European guys sitting at the end of the bench. You know, you only got so
Hold
you
it,
can
some of them are
so you can
starters.
build a team
I can't
really
pronounce their
easily.
names, yeah.
You know, Jim Boeheim, they basically told him to take a hike because Boeheim made fun of all the other ACC teams, saying all you did was go and build a team through the transfer portal. And the guys at Syracuse said, "Yeah, why didn't you get out?" You know,
Right.
So it's unrecognized. It's gone as that kind of pageantry from college sports now. I hate to be the old man yelling at clouds, but
Well, you know,
that's
you're
just
yelling
me.
you're yelling at the kids to get off your lawn. But you know,
Great shot, Chip.
you know, there's an example this past weekend of everything that's right about the NCAA tournament. And I have always said the NCAA tournament, men's and women's tournament, is one of my favorite events of the year, because it's not necessarily the team with the best athletes that wins. And a perfect example was played right here at PPG Paints Arena. Kentucky, which has 5 starters that are literally NBA first-round draft picks, and they played a college called Oakland, and I don't know where they're from, and they beat them.
I just
They
assumed
beat
they
them
were from
because
Oakland,
they had
California.
5 kids
Guess not.
that you know, in their professional lives, they'll make more money with their degrees than they ever will play in
and they'll never
basketball.
play again together.
Right, but
Yeah,
they
and
played
I have
well
to-
as a team.
Oh, you're talking
and they
about.
beat-
but I was talking about.
and they beat a team that they had no business beating.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. That's why I answered the question the way I did.
Yeah.
The spectacle of it I like, but I only am really into it if my team's in it.
Yeah.
If it's not, it's like I don't know who any of these
What
people
about a
are
home,
from
what
one
about
year
a
to the
hometown
to
team?
the
Would you
next
root,
the different.
Would you root for Duquesne like they won their first game?
I've always been a Pitt fan. Duquesne.
Okay,
I'm
so
glad
that
they
wouldn't
got
even be
in.
on your radar.
The other thing about the tournament I find interesting is that everybody like loves it when Oakland wins in the first round. You know what I mean? But by the time you get to the Sweet 16, particularly the 8, they look, if there's like an Oakland left, they look around and say, "You're still here? Why are you still here?" Everybody wants the Kentuckys and North Carolinas. They want the big guys there in the
Right.
final. So I'm not knocking it. It's obviously doing quite well. It doesn't need the Mike Rohde stamp of approval to do well.
Whoa,
But that's
you heard it here first.
But that's just me. That's why I kind of lost interest.
See, I
in
was
it.
pulling for
it's all
Duquesne
over
because
the
I
place.
remember when Duquesne was a powerhouse. Norm Nickens, B.B. Flannery. You know, I mean, Duquesne was at one. Last time they made the tournament, they were a recognized national power, and then they
107
fell by
years
this
ago,
wayside. And you know, even though the tournament did well, and I'll probably catch flack for saying this, you know, Pittsburgh has never been a town that has supported basketball well.
No.
And you know, people are saying that you know Pittsburgh should they should get an NBA franchise, and I don't see where the corporate money would come from to support an NBA franchise, and then with the population base that is small, it's as small now as it's ever been in my life. There was 4 to 5 times the number of people in Pittsburgh when Alan and I were growing up. Than there are now.
We were up
so
there.
who's going to fill the stadium?
You just
for those
summarized
prices?
why the Penguins brought back Gino and Letang, because they're terrified when those guys are gone, they're not going to sell tickets. Because you're right.
They're not selling them now.
This city is having a tough time.
Capacity.
Well, no, that's because the corporations are buying 90.
I understand.
But I'm telling you right now, I look in those stands.
No, I agree.
And 90, you know, there's There's
20%,
maybe 40%
20, 30%.
capacity,
Yeah.
and there's 60% are disguised as empty seats.
Why was everybody complaining because they couldn't get nothing to eat because everything was boarded up on Fifth Avenue?
Hold it. That's been for
They
almost.
should have got that foot-long hot dog the Pirates are promoting.
It's not out yet. Wait till the 5th.
You know,
Wait till April
you know,
5th. You can go there with your free
the
ticket.
development
with nothing.
in the Lower Hill District hasn't caught up with
We'll
the
just
rest
go
of it.
back to the Civic Arena days when they wiped out the Hill District, the Lower Hill. Mm-hmm. So this has been going on forever. And for them to put it out there, what were they thinking when they signed here? They should have had them with artists and painting stuff out there.
Yeah.
Painted all the buildings, made it look nice.
Food truck.
And I just wanted to bring up a little betting thing because I tell you, if you don't bet, don't start. And if you are betting, you heard me last week when he said he was betting.
lost big.
I said do the opposite. So he put $10 on Kentucky, and he lost more.
Woo! Did I get loose?
And then he came back. I hate to put his business out there, but we're good. We're best friends, and he don't keep secrets because he'll tell you, I just was told this, and he says it. Well, he won 3 games in a row.
Yes, sir.
Then he bet on Houston,
Oh.
given points, and they only won by 5 because that's why you don't listen to Smoking Jim. If you are going to bet and gamble, if you win, put half of it away at least.
I should have listened.
He said this is his famous last words, so this is all legit.
See, he followed Pete Rose's mantra: "Let it ride."
Well, I hate to talk poorly of my BFF, but he's a degenerate gambler, and he's proud of it.
Yes, I am.
So
Who,
we're
Pete
gonna-
Rose. I agree.
No, he's as,
No, my friend Jim.
yeah, I've done it. It's on the air. What's on my mind, Al? NCAA March Madness. First time ever the women were allowed to use March Madness.
Oh, really? didn't
Yeah,
know that.
guess what? They had trouble over the years. I'm a basketball guy. My uncle was in the first pro team here at Pittsburgh Raiders. My dad was a 30-plus year official with high school, college, grade school, Catholic schools, any type of school that played basketball. Him and a good friend of my dad, this Hal Holland, they refereed girls' basketball games in the 60s and 70s. And they said, we like watching the girls because they play good fundamentals. So I grew up with that family. Now I'm going to talk about girls' basketball. UConn, 30 years in a row, they made the Sweet 16. They got a player, Buchner.
Yeah. I watched her last night. She was amazing.
I watched too. And then my son, shout out Drew, he loves West Virginia. We went there for the backyard brawl, and our hot chocolate froze the one game we were there. So check back there, and Pitt lost that year. But West Virginia lost when they were like number 1 in the country. So it's
13-9?
Yeah, we were at the game.
Wow.
It was. I still get chilled talking about it. So he didn't watch the game right away. Guess who goes up early in the game? West Virginia.
Wow.
Guess who misses their first couple shots? Caitlin Clark.
Wow.
You're thinking like, could this be the upset of the night? Then they're up about 8-3 or so, and they're doing well. All of a sudden, Caitlin starts throwing that. She throws that 3 ball up there. She got like 3 of them. She had 12 points in the first half, and they had a lead. Then they're building the lead up. West Virginia comes back, ties it up with 2 minutes to go in the game. And guess what? A couple players stepped up with Caitlin Clark, and they won the game. Was the officiating fine? My dad said if you notice officials, it's not good. I noticed officials, and I swear they wanted Iowa to win. So I'll rest it there. But it was an exciting game because I'm watching, first time ever, I watched a full college women's basketball game.
Well, being a basketball aficionado like you, the thing I enjoy about watching the women's game, and I watched more women's game this past weekend than I watched the men play, is it's truer to the essence of the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ball movement. There's a lot of movement without the
Passing.
ball, clean, crisp passing. And the women, they're not every woman that plays on the floor can dunk. So they've got to be able to be better shooters.
Well,
and
I
they've
watched
got to
the
be
whole-
able to, they get a breakaway. They make a layup, instead of,
Right. Well, I gotta tell you what I saw. I didn't miss a dunk watching the whole game, and I thought, you know what, this is pretty interesting watching a game without dunking
Did Howard
and
play?
the running. No, here's the other thing. How many steps? My dad would go crazy. May he rest in peace. So he goes, they're walking with the ball. This was in the 80s and 90s. Now they're taking 3 and 4 steps to dunk the ball.
Yeah.
Julius Erving did it from the foul line, 1 step. So what am I looking at? The college game with the girls, Chip, I co-signed this. The passing was great, no look passing, running and weaving constantly. Some of these girls had to be 5 foot tall, and they're going in against all the bigger girls, 6'2", 6'3", and guess what they're doing? They're scoring.
No, they're drawing the defense in around them.
To pass.
They're passing the ball out so somebody gets an easy jump shot.
But a couple of them, didn't they go in and throw the layup in there?
I couldn't disagree with you guys more for the simple reason that Iowa play on their home court. That's not fair. So
Did
until
Connecticut
they get-
play on their home court?
That's what I'm saying. It ain't fair. You got to be, if you're going to be March Madness, you got to be neutral site. It ain't fair because the team got home field advantage. So they
Well, there was a lot of teams that had home field advantage.
Yeah, they still got.
But that's part of
Well,
the
how
women's
about
tournament.
Duquesne? Didn't Duquesne play
No,
here?
Duquesne played away from
They
him.
played in Oklahoma.
that's
Oklahoma.
right, Oklahoma.
Yeah, they couldn't
Yeah,
find their way back.
I know. I saw that. But hey, Smoking Jim,
Yeah, we played Nebraska.
I don't care what they're
Duquesne.
doing. We're watching women's basketball, and I support them.
I love it. I'm just saying it's not fair. West Virginia playing a neutral
Oh,
court
is it
last
fair
night, they
that you're a
win.
degenerate gambler who picks the wrong
No,
teams?
Clemson played Connecticut and on Connecticut's home floor. All the banners are hanging up there on the
Yeah,
ceiling.
That ain't fair.
They all came down to free throw shooting contests.
Yeah.
yeah, last 2 minutes.
Well, those were my points growing up with 3 sisters. A longtime friend, Melissa Wallace Borio, grew up on my street, Park Edge Road in Greentree. Her family, great dad. Him and my dad, if you saw them together talking sports, they were stronger than we are tonight. So shout out to Melissa. Thanks for tuning in. Great memories with your family. Tell your mother I said hello. I appreciate her. Her mother's still alive, I think 90-some years old, so God bless her mother. She's tuning in. We got to go to Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac in 10 seconds. Come on.
The talking machine. I'm gonna be real quick with this because we're
No, we
running out
got
of
we got
time.
about 14 minutes to go, I
I'm
think.
gonna make a couple predictions. Number one, I'm predicting, and I said it when it happened.
Oh, are you gambling on this?
No.
Okay, listen to him. Listen.
I'm predicting that veteran center Mason Cole comes back at a reduced price. 2 years ago, he played well.
This
last
can't be
year.
happening.
Listen, you need a veteran. You need a veteran.
He's
center.
no good.
I got a 3rd round grade on all the centers. I think it's a weak year, average year for centers in college football. I love Zach Frazier for obvious reasons, but he's not ready to start in the NFL next year and make all the line calls. I love Dan Moore. You call him Open Door Moore. I think
Yes.
he's one of the top 5 left tackles in all of football. But they got 2 monsters playing left tackle in college football that'll be there with the 20th pick. Latham, a 6'7", 360-pounder from Alabama, and Mims, a 360-pounder, 6'8" guy.
Is he healthy, though?
From Georgia.
Is Mims
Well,
healthy?
Mims, all them brothers fake injury after 140. They run 140, and then all of a sudden the hamstring go. But throw a basketball out there, they'll
Hold
be
it.
hooping all day.
Before
That's
you,
all you got to do.
before you get too deep, did Tomlin talk to them yet? Because we don't have a chance if he didn't.
Yeah, you know he did. He was at their pro day.
I had to get it confirmed.
But that's what's on my mind real quick. Other than they're starting to reverse discriminate my cornerback, Cooper DeJean. Green Bay and others are saying they want him as the starting safety. If he was black, he'd be the best cornerback since Rob Woodson. So that's what's on my mind.
I don't know if I can disclaim that because he's a black man.
Cooper DeJean is black, white.
No, but I said reverse discrimination,
yeah.
so I'm not sure. We got to get a ruling. We got to get a ruling on a disclaimer on that.
Leave me out of it.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know who to go to, but he still doesn't represent.
Chance agrees with me.
He didn't even say anything. All he sees is smoke. He can't even see it. All right, thanks for the short one, Smoking Jim. We got about 12 minutes, it looks like, Chip. So
I won't take much time and give you gentlemen.
all right,
your
well,
opportunities.
mine can be short. You guys can go a little
yeah.
extended. Chip's trivia time. I know you got extra stuff. Bring it out.
Well,
all
I
right.
do. Folks, welcome back. And I do have to, before I get into the Pittsburgh Pirates, I do have to touch on the Shohei Ohtani and what's going on with him. Now, you know, everybody's trying to equate whatever's going on with Shohei Ohtani to what Pete Rose was found guilty of doing and agreed to a lifetime ban for.
Yeah, he signed it.
But Ohtani should be investigated thoroughly. And if it is proven that he bet on baseball, the rules are very explicit. Okay.
There's
now,
a degenerate
if it's
gambler
proven
trying to
that
put
he
on that.
gambled but not on baseball, then there is other punishments that can be meted out. But if you hear after his press conference yesterday, something isn't right, and tell me anything, and I'm not buying oceanfront property from you. Okay?
Here's what I'll tell you. Over time, there's an old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
You don't always have a fire, but what I say, when rumors are brought up, and I've seen it over the years, there's some truth to every rumor. We're not sure to what degree, but Houston, we have a problem with Ohtani.
The quick thing that I read about today is this interpreter for Ohtani.
Yeah.
He is not one of his financial advisors.
Right.
He is not an investor.
Exactly.
He doesn't have any access to his bank accounts. So, how did $4.5 million end up missing? It had to have been given to him by Ohtani.
Hold it.
Under what premises? I have no idea, but that's all I'm going to say.
Here, I'll bring it up just with what you're alluding to. Do you think somebody could be friends with their translator?
Not $4.5 million.
No. Look, well, we're friends with Smoking Jim, but if he needs $300 instead of $250, we're not lending it to him. I always told him, I'll hold your $250 and give it to you next week, and he'd have money. But my thing is, say they're friends. Say he was doing bets for Ohtani. That's what I'm saying. To me, that's the smoke that I see.
He's thrown himself in. So, to get to my next item. Opening day starts Thursday, Pittsburgh Pirates, 2024. I am looking forward to the season. And, I always am the person that doesn't believe what all the experts tell me, that they've got inside information and they know that things are going to fall a certain way.
Don't get started on that inside info.
I said that at the beginning of spring training that I wanted to see if Henry Davis was capable of performing on a major league level as a starting catcher.
Right.
And his performance on the field is what dictated him being one of the starting catchers for the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. His bat played this spring.
That's why he can't wait for the start.
He was one of the team leaders in RBIs, and
so
extra
his
base
stats
hits.
look good, yeah.
Even if Yasmani Grandal had not had plantar fasciitis and couldn't catch, Henry Davis still would have made the opening day roster. He played that well. His defense.
Great point, Chip.
You could see that he worked hard. So, and I look at another player who really had no chance of making the Pirates' opening day roster, and he made it into their starting pitching lineup.
Yeah.
Was Jared Jones.
Right.
Jared Jones, and that is the reason why I say do they pass the eye test? Let them play games. Let their play dictate what decisions are
great
made
points, Chip.
instead
Yeah.
of making decisions going in with a preconceived decision that this guy is not ready. Henry Davis worked his butt off over the winter. He worked his butt off in the spring. He should be behind the plate on Thursday as the Pirates' opening day catcher, and I would love to see him stay, and I think he's going to be a vital part of this winning Pirates team. Now getting to my winning Pirates team.
Uh-oh, here we go. Hold your breath.
Prediction for this year, 84 and 78. I think the Pirates
84,
can break
above 500.
above 500. Now, the team that they coming north with, the position players, I think are one of the strongest set of position player groups that the Pirates have ever come out of spring training with.
Wow.
Jared Triolio won the position at second base. O'Neal Cruz has proven
He can
through
hit now.
spring he can hit. Well, is he going to do it on a major league level when the games
Can he
count?
steal bases?
We're going to see.
Can he steal
We're going to
bases?
see. Brian Hayes batted 360.
That's unbelievable.
You know, and a Gold Glove third baseman, and the platoon of Rowdy Talese and Connor Joe
Yeah.
are going to be adequate enough. You know, at first base. Right now, the outfield is as strong as I've seen it in a lot of years since Marte and McCutcheon and
Oh, yeah.
and Polanco when he was young. This
Before he
outfield with
slid.
Michael Anthony in center,
Yeah.
Sawinski in left, or Reynolds in left, Sawinski in right.
Yeah.
They have the potential to be one of the better outfields in
Wow,
baseball.
you heard it here tonight, guys.
The starting pitching, there is a gigantic question mark on the starting pitching staff.
You're honest, Chip. You're honest.
No, and you know, and I can tell you this right now. There isn't a team in the major leagues right now that has the starting five that they're going to open the season with that will be their starting five in June, that will be their starting five in September.
What about L.A., though?
We'll see. Just look at New York. I mean, all their started. Look at all the pitchers. I went over this last week.
I know.
All of the pitchers with arm troubles that aren't pitching that are getting paid $30 or $40 million. I know that I've read this so much on social media, and it just makes me want to retch. Is that Trevor Bauer somehow should be picked up by the Pirates?
Yeah.
But now here's something you have to understand. There are 30 teams in Major League Baseball. Not a single team has any interest in signing Trevor Bauer. Do you think they might know something that we don't?
Chip, I got an analogy for you. Doc Hodges. Right?
So,
Simple as that.
So here's what the
One
Pirates
guy.
do have. Okay, they're coming north with a pitching staff that's suspect.
Yeah.
That was good enough to win 13 games, lose 16, tie 1 in spring training. In games they weren't trying to win. So
In the Grapefruit League.
Our bullpen is probably one of the top 5 in the major leagues, and I've read that in a lot of different publications.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some young arms that we will see on the bump this season. First and foremost, Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
We may see him as early as May.
That's what I heard.
Anthony Solimento, he's a left-hander who's been impressing everybody.
Yeah.
Bubba Chandler. So we've got some good young arms, and Skeens is starting where he should in AAA. He has never pitched in a 5-man rotation,
Right.
and he needs to learn what does he need to do to be able to pitch every 5th day, and he's going to go through that, and I bet you he probably pitches 8 to 10 games in the minors before they bring him up and
they want him
get
ready.
him seized. And,
They want him ready for the
well,
season.
and he's got a few things to learn yet, and I think he's going to get here sooner as opposed to later. So I've got a lot of optimism for this year. As I said, 84-78.
You heard it, folks. Thank you, Chip. Smoking Jim put his out. He's going to the
62 and 100.
Yeah, he's going to Rivers Casino to lose 2 years in a row when they don't lose 100. So Smoking Jim, do the opposite that he's doing, please. All right, we got to go to Raging Roadie time in 10 seconds.
I'm going to go 3 games over 500 position players. They're solid. The pitching scares the
Oh,
heck
he
out
said
of me.
84. You're saying 84. 3 games
No,
over
what's
500.
that? 65 and my math isn't working. But
Oh,
I think
81 and
my
81
point is,
is
yeah.
500.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
a different sport.
HR guy.
Seriously,
numbers on.
I didn't go to
Yeah.
school for anything financial.
I
numbers.
know. I know.
But-
That's why I said HR.
Yeah, they're going to
That
be.
clarifies
That's
it.
probably sounds about right, but it just with pitching, it's so
You said
reliant on
75
pitching.
then?
It's so probably a couple games below 500, and because of that pitching, I think
Okay.
I think they're going to draft. They've got some arms in the system. I think it's going to be a year or two for them. But luckily, their core is very young, so I think it'll be able to catch up with them. But what I want to talk about real quick is I love the Steelers' ownership. And, compared to ownerships not only in town but across the country, very, very solid.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you're reminded that they're business people.
Yes.
I saw today that they got $1 million. They won that $1 million. $1 million is change they find in their couch cushions.
Yeah.
And the Pittsburgh Sports Authority is not this conglomeration of businesses. This comes out of people's this tax money.
Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed with that. I got to be honest with you. They definitely switched over. When the old man back in the 90s going into the 2000s used to be able to bring big RVs down into the parking lot. People would tailgate like crazy. The kid took over. No more. You can buy one spot. We want you in there drinking our $13 beers. You know what I mean? So he's very, very business-minded. He got money. He gets money from the parking, from all those buildings they
Yes,
built
sir.
down there. They get a cut of it. But to hold it, to go this long, it's been like 3 years to rake the city over for $1 million. I got to be honest with you, it's a little disappointing, and I thought would have been below the Rooney's, but he's a businessman.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
They own a
Yeah,
billion-dollar
never
team.
lose sight of that. Because the players look at it that way, and the owners look at it that way. And at the end of the day, how do you think they're all billion-dollar
I didn't know
franchises?
nothing about it. What's in this?
The new scoreboard, there was a fight between about who's responsible for it, right? Because the city owns the stadium, but come on, that's a smokescreen. That's not true, right? They get
Money's
they don't
money
get any
is
money
what they
from it.
look at.
Steelers
Money's
get all the
money.
money. They just don't have to do the. They just don't have
I
to do any of the
wonder if
upkeep.
Pitt gets a cut of that.
All right.
Probably
Yeah,
not,
go
because
ahead.
they don't put
Great
enough people
points.
to
We can debate this later on Money Goes to Money. We're going to do On Location in 10 seconds, and then we're going to probably close out in about 30 seconds after that. So. On Location, we're looking at potential boxing with Golden Gloves in Springdale, maybe in the next couple weeks. We got Ray Schaefer Boxing Association at Cherry City Fire Hall in Millvale, April 27th at 6 o'clock. So we got that on the books. I want to thank all of you for watching. Please stay Joey strong.